Yo, it's your boy DZ, man. You already know it's not about the setback, it's about the get back. Antoine Massey, the guy that escaped from the New Orleans prison, has been captured. He was on a run for about 6 weeks and they found him hiding out in an Airbnb. And now, U.S. Marshals have arrested him and he's back in custody. And we're going to see how things go if he's going to have conversations for them people and let them know how they escaped and if anybody helped them, because they want answers. But I want y'all to check this out right here.
Captured this afternoon, according to the U.S. Marshal's Office. Antoine Massey, who has been known for making social media posts as he's been on the run. He was one of the 10 inmates who escaped from the Orleans Justice Center several weeks ago now. He and Derek Groves were the only two remaining still on the run. But this afternoon, we have learned at WWL Louisiana that Antoine Massey has been recaptured. We just got off the phone moments ago with the U.S. Marshal's Office. They confirmed to us here at WWL Louisiana that he is, in fact, back in custody, that he was taken back into custody in the Holly Grove neighborhood. And investigative reporter Mike Pearlstein is joining me on the set this afternoon. You just got off the phone with them. Tell me what else you know. This happened in Holly Grove, as I mentioned?
Right, in the 9400 block of Strolitz, not far from the Costco on the way to Metairie Road. This was all within the past hour, so this is very fresh news and information. Antoine Massey was found inside of a residence. He was alone. According to Brian Fair of the U.S. Marshal Service, he was captured without incident. In fact, he gave himself up once surrounded by law enforcement. This actually came from a Crime Stoppers tip, Katie. So we know that a $50,000 reward had been offered for some weeks now. They had been waiting on tips, in fact, pursuing some of them unsuccessfully until today. This tip panned out. Somebody will be collecting $50,000. It came through Crime Stoppers. Other agencies involved, the U.S. Marshals were kind of leading the search, but instrumental and at this residence were representatives of the New Orleans Police Department, Louisiana State Police, U.S. Marshals, of course, along with JPSO, not far from the Jefferson Parish border.
Yeah, it's right on the line.
They assisted. Obviously, they were taking, no chances or risks with these. This particular escaped inmate being considered potentially armed, potentially dangerous, but it ended peacefully. He's now back in custody. Obviously, he'll be facing a charge of escape in addition to the previous charges for which he was being held at the Orleans Justice Center of domestic violence that included rape.
Yes, absolutely. Now, this area that we were looking at on your screen, this is a map where that house is, where Antoine Massey, one of the Orleans Justice Center escapees, was taken back into custody. If you're just joining us, that happened just a few moments ago. This area is really not too far from Xavier University's campus, which may be a bit unnerving for some parents out there who may be watching this, to know that Antoine Massey was hiding out in a house right there, not that far from the Costco where a lot of people frequent. Hundreds, thousands of people go through that Costco every day. And apparently Antoine Massey did not get far when they escaped from the Orleans Justice Center, and remember, all 10 of them.
It was kind of assumed in the case of Antoine Massey in particular that he may not have gone far. We saw that previously he posted a video of himself on social media that was identified as a house near the fairgrounds, which was promptly descended upon by the law enforcement agencies. He had not been there, so assumed that whenever he videotaped that, it was sometime earlier before he posted it. But that gave them an idea that he probably had not fled across state lines or anything further. What is interesting, we've seen in many of these other escapees, accomplices arrested, booked with accessory to the escape. Right now, no such other people known to be involved in helping him, assisting him. Nobody was at that house in that Holly Grove area when they descended upon it to make that arrest. He gave himself up peacefully. Now, of course, we'll see once they debrief Antoine Massey if he provides any additional information. He was considered, Katie, one of the masterminds
yes, I mean,
of
we learned
the
that.
escape.
We learned that, yes, through the fact that they've arrested several other people, and so that has given us a bit of a paper trail as we've continued to cover this.
And he's been perhaps the most visible by popping up on social media. There had been many tips generated about his whereabouts, including the one himself going on social media. They were able to pinpoint a house there. It's now almost 6 weeks since that escape. It is really considered remarkable that Massey, up until today, and Derek Groves, the other escapees still at large, managed to stay out for so long with such a large reward being offered.
Apparently, one tip is all it took.
That's right, and that is always the kind of mystery of being a fugitive. How many people know of the whereabouts? Yes. Who did he trust? Well, apparently, I don't know if it was him letting his guard down or somebody deciding 50,000 was just too tempting to pass up, but it was in fact a Crime Stoppers tip. And Brian Fair, the spokesman for the U.S. Marshal Service, said that reward will be collected by the tipster.
Yeah, well, obviously there's still a $50,000 reward for information out for Derek Groves. He's considered the other mastermind behind this operation. We do know that Groves had an ex-girlfriend who was actually an employee at the jail, correct?
Right. She was a guard.
And
right.
She was a guard at one point, has since been fired. However, that's the only person that we've known with ties to Groves. Now, if he and Massey were the two who coordinated this escape, there are going to be a lot of questions, asked and hopefully answered by Massey now that he's in custody.
Now, if they saying that his girlfriend worked there and she's been fired since this situation happened, of course they think that she has something to do with it. And, they're hoping that now that they captured Massey, that he's going to talk about what happened and how it happened. And, they found him inside of an Airbnb, and they got in touch with the person who owned the Airbnb, and, they spoke to her. And, she said she didn't know anything about this. And she spoke out, but they put her on camera when she really didn't want to be on camera. And I want y'all to check this out, though.
What's been going on throughout this time, how he has managed to, get information. Now we want to go to Amelia Strahan again, so let's listen in to the interview that she's doing right now.
I understand sensitive situation, but I guess your thoughts, this is an inmate, inmate that has been on the run for quite some time. If you can. Yes, ma'am. Your thoughts on Antoine Massey being here on your property?
I don't know what's going on, sir. I don't know. I really don't.
Gotcha.
Are you shocked? I'm very shocked. Yes. I don't want to be on the news. Yes. I don't know what's going on. Where's the police? I don't even know what's happening. I get a call and I'm just coming and everything's over. I really don't know. All I know is they found the guy here and that's it. I don't know what's going on.
Were the police here when you got here?
I just got here right now. I don't see no one here but you all.
So it was cleared out?
I don't know. I mean, I can open the gate. I just don't want to be on camera. That's all.
For sure.
So police told you it was at this address?
Yes.
And do you know anything about the tenant?
There's no tenant here. It's just a family house. Like I say, I'll normally do Airbnb, but I'll keep it open. I just keep it open all the time because we have a gate.
A family that he was here with?
I don't know anything, man. I really don't. I don't know anything.
Yeah. How many units is this? Two. Two units, and you own it?
Yes, I own it.
Well, I do appreciate your time, ma'am.
No problem. I'm still trying to find out what's happening.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Much information as far as today.
Thank you.
As,
You said you don't.
Sorry, y'all. I just don't want to be on the news.
Yeah.
Trying to find out what's going on myself.
I understand. Would you mind saying a few words with us if we don't put your face on the camera? If
That's
we point it
Amelia
towards the ground?
Strahan. She is out at the scene where this inmate was found this afternoon.
We're actually talking to the woman that owns the Airbnb where Antoine Massey was allegedly found. She doesn't want her face on camera. We want to respect her request. So I'm going to get Robin to put the camera back down, and we're going to ask her a few questions. You guys can listen in.
I'm here and I don't even see cops.
I mean, is it shocking to hear this happen not only on your property but in your neighborhood? Because a lot of people we spoke to say they were just talking to someone just cutting grass here earlier today, and then this happened.
Yeah, it's a pretty quiet neighborhood. You know, it's kind of shocking, you know, but hey, you know, things like this happen. We just have to, you know, kind of be careful, I guess, you know.
Have you seen any signs of this? Anything suspicious?
Not seen any signs? No.
And it's only one tenant you were telling us that lives here.
Yes, only one tenant.
And you said telling me when you were closing the gate that Antoine Massey might have run in, broken in.
Right, because I'm frustrated too. I don't know what's happening. They say this is going on, and I get here and I don't even see a cop. So, you know, so I don't know.
So
And what do you know about the
and gave you
family?
call?
Do you know anything about the family, the tenant that was staying there?
No, I don't know anything about that.
Who actually called you and alerted you of what was going on at your property?
My friend called me. A friend of mine. I guess it's all over the news and they know my property.
Did she see the whole arrest happen, or just the law enforcement presence?
Just the law enforcement. Yeah.
Gotcha. And your message to NOPD, you weren't even really notified.
I don't have a message anymore. I'm really, you know, I'm shocked right now. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you so much.
All right,
ma'am.
thank you so much. All right, now I'll pull the camera back up, guys. Yeah, so like we mentioned, this was a quiet street. Now we just heard from the woman who owns the Airbnb.
She just said that she didn't want to be on camera, literally, and they still put her on camera. And, you know, she said she rents out the Airbnb. It could have been anybody, a family member, or somebody they rented out to. And that's good that she didn't speak out about it, because they wanted to get some information. And they didn't even care about not making sure that she wasn't on camera. They didn't care about that at all. They cared about getting the story. Now, dude was on a run for 6 weeks. Hopefully, he got somebody in his family to get that paper, and that he didn't just, you know, let it go as where somebody else got the money, because they was going to capture him eventually anyway. So, you know, it would have been smart for somebody in his family to get the $50,000 than just anybody getting it, you know. So hopefully he made that decision. You know, I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about him being captured. He was on a run for 6 weeks. You know, they wasn't really talking about this, and, you know, and he was right there in New Orleans in the 7th Ward. So he didn't even leave the state. Yeah, but I want y'all to leave a comment. Let me know how you feel. You know, I appreciate all of y'all that rock with me. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and share this video. You already know what it is. It's not about the setback. It's about the get back now.